Yeah. You gotta go for it today. Come on. Get chest of the day, everybody. You came. Yes, sir. You conquered. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Chris Ryan Fitness. Have an absolute fantastic 45-minute strength, arms, and abs, and an intermediate level workout for us here today. Medium dumbbells will be needed, and that's about it. Maybe a workout mat for you down on the ground as well for some of that floor work for the abs. But right now, everybody, let's get you going here today. So palms facing down towards the ground, quick mobility session. There you go. Palms facing down, crisscross those arms. Right over left, left over right. You go. Tall open chest. Turn those palms facing up. Pull your thumbs up behind you as far as you can. Back and forth you go. Throw those elbows up high over the top side of your shoulders. There we go. Kathy's in the house. What's up? Doris, Brooke, Kristen, Sooner Shishi getting it done. And yes, congrats to OKC there for you, Sooner Shishi. Back and forth. Sarah, Karen getting it done in Ireland. What's up, Karen? Top of the morning to you over there in Ireland. So happy to hear you getting those travel workouts done. Taking in those big, beautiful Irish views. Push those hips back as far as you can. Stretch out through those hamstrings. Squeeze that butt in nice and tight. One of my favorite places in the world is Ireland. I've only been there once, a long time ago. But definitely want to take my family back there at some point. It's so pretty. And great people, great culture, and just beautiful, beautiful area of the world. Right there for two. So enjoy it for us, Karen. And one. Great job, everybody. So take a big old deep squat down. Debbie. What's up, Tracy? Take that deep squat down, right hand downtown, left hand uptown, reaching and stretching up as high as you can. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Left hand downtown, right hand uptown. Back on in. Reach and stretch for two and one. Grab those toes. Push your butt up towards the sky. Stretch out that lumbar spine. Bring your face in towards those knees. Down one more time. We go, and one. Great job right there, everybody. Let's take it down on the ground quickly. So high plank, push-up position. Eyes are down towards the ground. Go ahead, take it up to a down dog. Eyes go back towards those toes. Head comes through those shoulders. From that pike position, drop the hips over that left side. Back to center and over to that right side. And then right back into center. And then down to the ground, go the knees. Let's go ahead and round your back right here. Tighten up those abdominals for a cat position. Push hard through those palms, and then go ahead and arch your back there. Excellent, excellent work. Back and forth you go. One more time. Loosen up through that lumbar spine. Opening it on up. Tailbone up towards the sky. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take that right hand up to that right temple. Push up that right elbow up high to the sky. Rotating on through those ribs, those obliques. Excellent, excellent work. Hit 3 reps right there, everybody. Back and forth you go, and switch it on up. Nicole, happy Tuesday to you as well. Take that left elbow up high to the sky. Rocking and rolling right there, everybody, for 2 and 1. Push it back into a child's pose. Head comes down to the ground. Hips back over top side of those heels. Reach and stretch for 2 and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Finish on up in your child's pose. Let's get it done here today. I believe I had a couple more shout outs to do. There we go. Oh, yeah. Kirchy's in the house getting it done. Kip is in the house. Love it, Kip. Haven't seen it in a while, Kip, but we got to get it done, huh? There we go. Yeah, excellent, excellent work. Got them all, the rest of them done. Okay, everybody, let's do some slow curls here. There we go. We're going to slow it down. And there we go. Time under tension. Palms facing away. Wrist flexed up and in. Go up 3/4 away. Inside head's touching and take it down nice and slow and controlled. So your abs are tight, 3/4 away up. Take it down slowly. The elbows are rested against the ribs, right in front of the shoulders. The whole time, those inside heads are touching. Only movement in your body right now should be your forearms. We don't want to have any momentum of trying to heave the dumbbells up. We want to muscle them up by using your biceps. You're here to get those arms looking good, right? You're here to get them stronger, as well as those abdominals. So squeeze your butt tight. Push hard through those heels. Oh, yeah, I know they're not attached to the arms, but those muscles are important. Those talking points are super important. The harder you push through those heels, stronger your glutes are, the more erect your posture will be. When you do that, you put those muscles under a little bit more tension, as you will feel. For 2 and 1. It's all about that tension, everybody. Lateral plus a front raise. So here's what you can do. Shoulder blades retracted back and down. Wrist flexed in towards your body. Flex those triceps. Take it out to a lateral position. Take it down slowly. Turn those palms facing on in towards your quads. Eyes forward. Hit that front raise. Take it down slowly. smooth, and controlled the whole way through. Reaching and stretching those knuckles right out in front of you. Only movement in your body should be your arms right now. You are not heaving the dumbbells up. Your wrists are flexed down and in towards the ground on both positions. Your shoulder blades are retracted back. Your pecs are punching forward. You're pulling those shoulder blades back and down to light up those triceps, but also help support the shoulder when the dumbbells go out to that distal position, right? There we go. Back and in, smooth and controlled. Last round, best round. Oh, yeah. Wake up, shoulders. Scarecrow time. Oh, yeah. Here they go. I have no choice but to wake up on this one. So now your wrists are over the elbows in alignment with the shoulders. Rotate palms down. Drive the knuckles together. Rotate on back. So back fist punch. We go. Nice and strong the whole time. Working through the rotator cuff. Back on in through the AC joint. Keeping those shoulders strong and healthy because those biceps, those triceps are going to get big and beautiful here today. But we got to make sure we keep those shoulders healthy. Those arms overall healthy as much as possible. Back on in. Once again, working with a lighter pair of dumbbells here today. Maybe some mediums here on some of the other work. But right now, working with some lighter dumbbells. Going back and forth. Smooth and controlled the whole way through. Excellent. Excellent job, everybody. Come on. Light it up. Back on in for 3, for 2, and 1. Bend over tricep kickback. Oh, yeah, that's right, Kip. School finally finished for you. Believe it or not, our kids are still in school for the next few days until Friday. So here we go. Bend over tri kickback. Shoulders pulled back, or shoulders punching down towards the ground. Elbows pulled back behind those shoulders. Kick those palms facing on back behind you. And then take them back on in. Eyes are forward towards the ground the whole way through. Palms facing away. Squeezing your shoulder blades together as much as possible. Lengthening through those triceps. Punching on back, my friends. There we go. Love it. Come on. Light up those triceps. Back on in. Smooth and controlled. Elbows behind the ribs to increase the tension in just those triceps. Isolating out through in the best way possible. There you go. Come on. Getting it done. Squeeze and flex those triceps hard as you can. 3, for 2, and 1. Holy smokes. Ham curl time. We go. Hammers. Palms facing on in. Both heads touching. Elbows out in front of those ribs, of course. 3/4 of the way up. Take it down slowly. There we go. Abs in. Nice and tight. The whole way through. Eyes are forward. Chest is up. Sweat pouring out of those pores. Here we go, everybody. Come on. Big old summer pump for us. Arms and abs. 45 long, strong minutes. Getting it done. Back and forth. You go. Smooth, controlled, big old range of motion. Time under tension. Keeping those elbows locked on in. Right there in front of the ribs, in front of the shoulders. And squeezing those handles. Give or take probably about a 7 out of a 10 right here. With the grip strength down, then right back on up. So not a death grip, but definitely not a loose grip. The stronger you can grip those handles, the more pump you'll get in those arms. For 2 and 1. Rest it on up. So now we're going to go down on the ground. You got a quick little rest break for about 30 seconds. We're going to go down on the ground, as I said earlier, if you want to have a workout mat, yoga mat, whatever you want to call it. Down on the ground for some extra padding for some of our ab work. Let's do it. So grab some water, towel on off. We're going to be found in this flip-flop section where it's going to go arms for 1, then abs for another, then back to arms, abs, and right on so through that finish line of our 45-minute burner here today, everybody. So let's get some six-pack city action going. Single leg toe touch with a bent knee. So right leg is out in front of you. Left arm reaching all the way out behind you. Left leg is bent, right hand on the ground. Take that left hand up to that right toe, hold, and then back on into center, slow and controlled. Elbow and leg locked to the knee for the standard, pulling the shoulder blade off the ground. Eyes are outside that right hip. Take it back on in. Modifier, slight bent elbow, slight bent knee position, touching the knee just like so. But the main thing I want you to think about is pulling the left rib to the right hip and the right hip towards the left rib, using just this core. And that cross-sectional analysis for those gains. Back on in. smooth and controlled. I don't want you just whipping up the hand to the toe like this. We could all do that. There you go if you're loose enough in the hamstring, of course. But the main goal is to muscle up by squeezing just that midsection to pull your arm and leg up. Switch up those arms and legs now. Now that left leg's out straight, left hand on the ground, right hand's above your head. Reaching and stretching up all the way. Nice and strong. Toe is flexed in towards your shin the whole way through. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Lengthening, strengthening through the abdominal cavity as much as possible. Back on in, my friends. Come on. Light it up. Back and forth. Smooth and controlled you go. Less than 20 seconds. Squeezing those abs hard as you can. Once again, concentrating on just those abs. Not trying to generate momentum by swinging your arm or your leg. You want to muscle up the arm and leg back and forth by using your abdominals. For 2 and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Let's go hit some obliques. Over to our right side, fetal position. Right forearms on the ground. Elbows south of the shoulder, knee stacked, ankles and hips stacked. What I want you to do right here is that left arm is going to reaching on up over the top side of your shoulder. Squeeze just the low side position right here and punch as hard as you can through that forearm. Back on down to the ground. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Squeezing through just that low right side position. There you go. Rib to the hip, hip to the rib, of course. And then nice strong fist pushing that forearm hard through the ground to support this low side shoulder on that right side. And with that arm reaching up on that left side, you're reaching up over the top side. So you're trying to lengthen through those fingertips. Splay those fingers out nice and wide. The more you lengthen, the more you strengthen down here to stabilize that core through those obliques. Back and forth, smooth and controlled. For 2 and 1. Quickly switch over to our left side. We go. Excellent, excellent job, everybody. Back and forth. Kirchi said it's too hot and humid to do anything but swim after this one. That's right, Kirchi. There you go. I totally agree with you on that one. The East Coast is hot, hot, hot. And I believe the Midwest is too. I know the South is. I don't know how the mountains in the West Coast are doing, but anyway, over here east of the Mississippi, good Lord, it is hot. Back and forth you go. Smooth, reaching on up, down slowly. I know Texas is always hot. There you go. I know Florida's usually always hot. But boy, oh boy, up here in the Northeast in the New York City area, it is hot the last 2 days. Reaching and stretching all the way through. Down. You know when it goes down to just 85 at night? I took out the garbage this morning at like 5 a.m. It was 85 degrees still. There you go, with like 95% humidity. Slow mountain climber. So not even joking on that one. And then it'll be like over 102 today here. Wow. Okay, so back over to a high plank position. Eyes are down towards the ground. Tailbone tucked down and in. Pushing hard through those palms. Take that right knee in towards your belly button. Slow control. Back on out. Left knee in towards your belly button. Slow and controlled. Back on out you go. Toes are flexed in towards your shins and knees. Tailbone is tucked down and in towards the ground. Squared off those shoulders and those hips. So even when you're in the tripod stance, right, where only one foot is on the ground and 2 hands on the ground, you still want to think squaring off the shoulders and the hips. The way you're able to hold that position in place is by stabilization through that core. Of course, when you're in the tripod stance, the tension will increase a little bit. That's the whole point of this move. Push hard through those palms and then drive through those lower abs and those obliques on that mountain climber position. Dead bug, this time arms are going to stay straight and locked over the top side of your shoulders, but you're going to hit a leg extension alternating style. So your head is going to rest on the ground. Your arms are reaching on up, abs on in, nice and tight. So press the tailbone down in and towards the ground. Stabilization through that core. Kick out just that right leg. Back on into the center. Abs in tight. Kick out just that left leg. Targeting through those lower abdominals right here. Making sure as you kick out the alternating leg, the opposite knee does not come on in towards the elbow, right? The knee should stay locked out in place. You're going back and forth, reaching and stretching those abs to some newfound gains here today. Back on in And also that lower third of your back, that lumbar spine, not developing a C curve where it disengages from the ground. We want to smash that lumbar spine down to the ground to stabilize and ignite that core. For 2 and 1, rest on up, my friends. Great job so far. There we go. Everyone's looking good. Everyone's feeling good. Absolutely amazing work so far. So shake it on out. Grab some water. Stay hydrated. Stay smiling. Let's get down into section number 3. So you've done 1 arms, 1 ab section. We're going to follow that sequence all the way through for this 45-minute workout. So that means you got a couple more arm sections left, a couple more ab sections left, and a ton more fun. So you're about a third of the way through the workout right here. Supinated curl with a hammer turn. Palms facing up and away. Abs on in nice and tight. Hit it on through. Supinated curl. Hammer turn up at the top side. Take it back to the supinated before you go down, and then take it down slowly. There you go. Supinated curl. 3/4 of the way up. Hammer turn. Under control. Following my cadence right here. So we're not going in like this and then dropping down and then going back on into it, right? We want to think. Strong, powerful, up. Supinated curl, up. Rotate in for the hammer turn at the tension, and then open back up to the supinated, and then take it down slowly. Watch those arms grow right before you. There we go. Back and forth. You go. Smooth and control. Reaching down below that hip line with those knuckles, those DBs up top side. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff, baby. For 2 and 1. Hammer curl. Supinated turn, we go. Hammer curl on through, supinated turn up at the top side, back and forth, down and in. Sarah, 100 degrees in Denver, I beg to differ, is not the same as 100 degrees here in the New York City or the Midwest or the East Coast with our humidity. I've been out in Denver when it's 100. Yes, it gets hot in that sunshine, but it also gets much cooler overnight being the high desert like it is. Back on in. But yes, 100 still 100. I get it. But everyone out there in the mountains and the deserts, when it gets to 100 degrees, that's about like a good 85 here, right? Back on in. That's really only about 100 when it's like about 2 to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon when that sun's really high. But other than that, not too bad. You guys have beautiful mornings out there, beautiful evenings. Over here, you can't even walk outside at the end of your driveway with garbage cans without breaking a sweat. Here you go for 2 at 5 a.m. and 1. Great job, everybody. Hand release push-ups, body weight, tricep kickback. I love how we're all sitting here arguing over whether who's hotter. All right, high hand release push-ups, the body weight, tricep kickback. High plank position, abs on in, nice and tight. Tailbone tucked down and in. Go down slowly, elbows towards the base of the ribs. Keep your quads engaged, butt tight. Take your fists off the ground, 2 tight fists, punch them back. Flex those triceps absolutely as hard as you can and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Hold for 1,001. 1,002, bring those hands just south of the shoulder. Push hard through those palms. You can also modify these with knee push-ups on the way down and the way back up, or slowly lower yourself down and then push yourself back up with knee push-ups. But either way, I want you to flex through those triceps, squeezing your shoulder blades together on that backside and holding that tension in for a good 2-second count. Abs on in nice and tight. Keep the glutes engaged. Keep those abs engaged no matter what when you are on the ground. So everything is nice and strong and taut. You're not just a limp noodle lying on the ground right there. Dip time, we go. Back on in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sarah, I love that lack of humidity too. That's why Denver's such a popular place to live, right? Here we go. So thumbs forward, fingers pointed away. You all got to figure it out. Press through those palms. So now what I want you to do, bent knee position, open up your chest as much as you can. So you're increasing the tension by pulling the shoulder blades together. You're opening up your chest broad. Thumbs are facing forward. Fingers are pointed away. You're starting out with the hands behind your hips in a bent elbow position. And then you're going to push hard through those palms. Thereby increasing that tension through the triceps. Holding on up. Strong. Taking it down slowly. So you're not just starting out with straight elbow position, lifting your hips like this, right? That's a common mistake. You have those hands well behind. Splay those fingers wide. Punch through those palms and you get a nice little pump when you don't have a dip bar available. Plus, it doesn't take as much tension through the AC joint in your shoulder, which a lot of people encounter when they do dips on the dip bar. There you go, everybody. Back and forth. Concentrate that tension in, but follow those form cues to get those triceps pumped. Rack pull time we go. So DB's on into your hands. You're going to flip over on your backside. Elbows at the base of the ribs. Tricep pump stays with us. Back and forth you go. So palms facing in towards one another. Elbows and wrists in alignment with one another, whether they're inverted or over one another. Back and forth you go. Smooth and control. Keeping those elbows nice and tight towards the base of the ribs. Lengthening through those triceps and those lats. And then flexing on through. Extending, flexing. Back on in. And this one I want you to go a little bit more volume driven, right? Locking that form nice and strong. And then get those reps on through. 3, 4, 2, and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Line tricep extension time you go. So dumbbells down to the ground on that backside. Elbows behind your ears and shoulders. Flay those thumbs forward, palms facing away. Turn those palms facing on in. So the elbows just a smidge behind your shoulders. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Palms facing on in, palms facing away. Targeting all 3 heads of your triceps right here. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Lengthening through those triceps, all 3 heads. Strengthening back on in. Excellent, excellent job. Just the forearm should be moving at this position. Letting it on up. Come on for 3. Down and back. 2. Last rep, best rep, and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Rest it on up. All right. Well, certainly working those arms here today, everybody. Lori 25, getting it done. Oh, yeah. So, tips on how to keep the elbows in on the push-up. Yes, Lori, turn the elbows in on the push-up. I had pointed something in, or I pointed something out. There's a question in the community chat yesterday. Feel free to use a pillow underneath your chest or some sort of padding that will actually elevate, so you don't have to go down as deep. That will help that form on out. So if you feel like you need to work on those push-ups, turn those elbows on in and have something there that's a little cushy, several inches off the ground or quite a bit off the ground for you with for your push-up technique, right? So you don't have to go down as far. You can concentrate on correcting that form. Low plank to pike. So now we're going to go low plank position. Abs in nice and tight. Punch your butt up high to the sky. Eyes back towards those toes. Come in slowly to that low plank. Hold the low plank for a good 2 count. Keep those abs in check. And then drive those hips up high to the sky. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Down and back. Smooth. Driving through those forearms. Abs on in. Nice and tight. Smooth. Driving up. Head pops through those shoulders. Eyes back towards those toes. Down and back we go. Excellent. Excellent work, everybody. Pushing hard through those forearms for 2 and 1. Sit-ups with a dumbbell static hold. Right arm only. Single arm dumbbell hold. So now what are you going to do? So you're going to have that right arm locked on out. And you're going to drive on through. Shit that crunch. Abs on in nice and tight. Back on in. So the dumbbell is held over your sternum, not over your shoulder. So it's slowly pointed in towards the center of your mass. And I want you to think, driving those ribs to the hips. Eyes are forward, left fist punching on out, back on in. So we're doing the crunches here, not the full sit-ups. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Lengthening and then decreasing that tension. But always trying to keep that lumbar spine fully flat on the ground. Keep punching on up over your sternum. So you're pressing into the center of your mass for 2 and 1. Quickly switch. So now the DB goes to that left hand. Right fist is punching on out, up and over the top side of your chest. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Excellent, excellent work. Driving those abs on in. Nice and tight. Down and back we go. Pressing. Knuckles on up. Driving on through. Come on, everybody. Down and back we go. Punch the knuckles up. Driving on into center. Over your sternum, not outside the shoulder. We want to keep the tension in that core, not put extra stress in the shoulder joint itself. Chin is in towards your chest the whole way through. Eyes are forward. You're not herking or jerking that neck. Put the tension in that core as hard as possible. Squeeze and flex for 3, 4, 2, and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Knee tuck crunches. DB's pitched off to the side now. Now what I want you to do, you're going to come on in. Arms are slightly behind you, so elbows are slightly bent just like so. You're going to come on through, pull your chin in towards your chest, tap those knees, extend back on out so that your hands, heels, and head come to the ground. Back and forth you go. The max contraction as much as you can. Touch those palms right on in towards those knees. Back on forth you go. Knee tuck crunches. Come on, flex. Throw those abs hard as you can. Ribs right on in towards those hips. Eyes are forward. Hold that flex state for a good second or two, clenching those abdominals as hard as you can right there. Compressing the lumbar spine. Fully flat on the ground at the top side. Excellent, excellent work. Back and in. 3, 4, 2, and 1. Bent knee, hollow hold. Oh, my goodness. Ready to get those abs strong? All right, everybody. Sweet little pairing we got going on from those into these. So now we got bent knee, hollow hold. So the knees on up, out in front of your hips, toes flexed back, and you can do this one with your head off the ground, arms behind those shoulders, lumbar spine fully flat on the ground. This is going to be the standard, or head on the ground, arms behind the shoulders, knees in front of the hips, but you're still keeping that tension on in. So just because your head's on the ground, I don't want you to relax, right? I want you to think you're still trying to pull those ribs to the hips. All else remains equal. I can't put my hand underneath my back because my lumbar spine is flat on the ground. Of course, if your head is off the ground, it increases the tension a little bit more, but you aren't looking towards the ceiling. Your eyes are forward towards your toes. So you're reaching, you are stretching right out in front of you and behind you with those arms and legs. Come on, light up that core. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic job, everybody. Scissor kick time. We go. Excellent, excellent job. Back and forth. So heads forward, elbows right out in front, straight arm position, knees slightly bent. Go up and down with those scissor kicks. Toes are flexed back towards your face on this one. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Modifier right here. If you need, head can rest on the ground. Keep those toes flexed back so that you're constantly keeping that tension in the core, those hip flexors, the whole way through. But we're going in for some nice, strong scissor kicks with a bent knee position well out in front of the hip. We're not here doing the scissor kicks, right? You're not going to increase the tension in those abs, whether you choose the modifier or that standard. Eyes are forward. Chest is punching down and in towards the ribs, towards those abdominals, and everything right here is under tension in the best way. For 2, 1. Great job, everybody. Low plank to a reach. So flip over to a low plank position. Forearm strong through the ground. Elbow south of the shoulder. Abs on in nice and tight. Slide out that left arm, back on into center. Slide out that right arm, back on into center. Moving slow and controlled. Excellent, excellent job. Back and forth. Keeping the shoulders and hips square. Modifier, knees well behind the hips, toes pointed away from your body. Same rules apply. Just take it into the tripod stance, increase that tension. But this position, you should be making sure you are tucking your tailbone down and in towards the ground and then pulling those lats at the same time to have a little bit of curvature in your upper mid back. You're tucking your tailbone, so sometimes it may look like it's rounded, but it's not sagging. When you round, you are pulling through those ribs to the hips and engaging those lats to increase the tension right here. Common misnomer when they think about planks that everything has to be straight. If it's actually straight for many of us, we're not engaging those abs under tension enough. We're robbing our gains right there. So think about pulling on in. Even from a standing position, you can see if you pull those ribs to the hips, all of a sudden those abs tension. If someone just come by and hit you in the stomach, what would you do? You would pull in like this to increase the tension in that core to protect those ab muscles, right? Same thing, you wouldn't just stand here like this, right? Great job. All right, side lateral raise, everybody. Stay on your side, down on the ground. Grab a single DB. You're coming on over fetal position on your left side. You can put a pillow underneath your head if you want, but either way, that DB is rocking and rolling right up over the top side of your shoulder. slow, controlled on down. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled the whole way through. Wrist is flexed down and in towards the ground, doing that back fist punch right up over your shoulder. So you're targeting the back side of the shoulder, the rear delt on this one, as well as that tricep. Back and forth, traditionally, the weaker points of our shoulder. So we want to get them strong as possible. Back on in, slow, controlled on down. Back on in, and then slow, controlled on downtown. Back and forth, everybody. Getting it done. Come on, light it up. 3, 4, 2, and 1. Quickly switch. DB is over to that left hand now. Pivot over to your right side fetal position. And then let's get it done. So now, backside, nice strong back fist punch. Slow control downtown. Excellent, excellent work, everybody. Back and forth. Not hyperextending our shoulder in any way. Finishing directly up over the shoulder, trying to punch the dumbbell as far away from our wrist and our shoulder and our elbow as possible. So you're lengthening the whole time. Turning the knuckles in towards your body just ever so slightly. So you're not punching the knuckles away. Turn that wrist on in, down, same as you've been doing on those curls. Activating all the way through that rear delt. Back and forth. Down and up we go. Come on, light it up, everybody. Left arm rocking and rolling here today. We'll be finishing this section from a standing position, targeting those arms for 2 and 1. DB overhead, try extension. So stand tall, both dumbbells in your hands, palms facing the back of your head, eyes are forward, tailbone tucked up underneath those hips. Turn those palms facing on out at the top side. Press hard through your heels here. So you're opening on up those triceps. Back on in. Tailbone tucked up and underneath those hips. The whole way through. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Lengthening those triceps. Strengthening the whole time. There you go. Keeping that smile right there on that face, my friends. Come on. Light it up. Back and forth. Press through those heels. Tuck your tailbone up and underneath those hips the whole way through. 3, 4, 2, and 1. Great job, everybody. Alternating curl the opposite shoulder time. Start out with those knuckles pointed in towards your toes. Shoulder blades retracted back and down and pull the chest forward. Punching the chest forward. Right hand up to that left shoulder. Wrist flexed in towards your body. Down slowly. And then left hand up over to that right shoulder. Down and in. Smooth and controlled. So your eyes are forward. Only the forearm is moving. Flexing through that upper arm through the bicep as much as you can. Get rocking all those arms here today. Back and forth. Smooth and controlled. But don't let the shoulders rotate forward in a sagging core position, right? No weak cores. Pull the shoulder blades back and then light up those arms. Turning the knuckles in towards your body ever so slightly. Keeping those arms pumped on up. Upper arm locked out, perpendicular position just below the shoulder. Forearm rocking and rolling with that dumbbell. Strong squeeze on this one, about a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Great job, everybody. Curl, forward punch time. We go. Starting out. Supinated curl, take it on in, hit one punch left arm, back on into center, one punch right arm, back on into center, and descend on down. There you go. Get it done again. This time alternate right side first, back on into center, left side second, back on into center, slow and controlled on down. Saw how I'm holding the static position, right, in that 3/4 position, palms facing on in, back, and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Right on after it. Right side. Left side. Oh, yeah. Down slowly. Up you go. Strong. Left side. Squeeze. Right side. Squeeze. One more pairing, everybody. Let's go. Up and after it. Right side. Down. Left side. Down. Oh, yeah. Alternating bent over curl time we go. Feet out nice and wide. Palms start facing in towards one another. Hinging at the hip. Take that left arm up to that right shoulder. Flex that left bicep hard as you can. for a good 2 count. Take it down slowly. Take that right arm up to that left shoulder. The elbow should be directly below your shoulder, and the forearm is moving with the dumbbell to the opposite shoulder. I'm not moving the elbow back. I want to concentrate the movement just in the bicep, right? So down, slow, wrist curled on in. Weight is pushing through your heels. You're pulling the shoulder blades back and down at the same time. Your eyes should be towards the ground right here. So you're driving on through, slow and controlled, isolating through just that bicep on the curling arm. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Excellent. Excellent job, everybody. Down and up. Standing OH tricep extension. Here we go. Let's go do it again, my friends. Up and after it. Eyes up to the back of the head, or dumbbells up to the back of the head. Take it on through. Kick those dumbbells straight on up. Pull them apart. Finishing strong as possible on this one. Lengthening through those triceps. Strengthening all the way on through. Flaring open those lats. Pushing through your heels right here. Tucking your tailbone up and underneath those hips the whole way through. So those abdominals are nice and tight. Your eyes are forward. You're flaring up through those arms as much as you can right there, everybody. Upper arm locked on out, perpendicular position directly over your shoulder as much as possible. And then flaring up those palms facing away at that top side. 3, 4, 2, and 1. Rest on up. Fantastic work, everybody. Okay, guess what? You've done 5 out of 6 sections already. That means we only have 1 ab section left, and then you will be done with this workout. Arms are done. That's right. As you can probably tell, they're done. They're just hanging out right there, but they're looking good, right? Great, great work here so far, everybody. So let's finish up this last ab section in style. Take it down to the ground, everybody. Grab that last swig of water. Let's get it ready to rock and roll here. We've only got a few minutes remaining between you and that finish line. Starting out with a low plank with an alternating knee drive. So you're coming on in to the ground. Forearm strong through the ground. Elbow south of the shoulder. Tailbone tucked down and in towards the ground. Alternate right side. And then that left side knee drive. Back and forth. Keeping the shoulders and hips square to the ground the whole way through. Sternum parallel to the ground. Eyes are down towards the ground. Down and back. We aren't piking our hips as we hit the knee drive like this, right? This is not what we're doing. We want to load those down and in, and then drive on through. And then drive on through. Keep that tailbone tucked down and in. You should feel this in your abs by pushing hard through those forearms. You're not piking your hips up towards the sky, right? Tuck your tailbone down and in. Clench those abdominals as hard as possible. For 2 and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Butterfly sit-up time. We go. Take the soles of those feet right together. Pull the heels on in towards the hip and groin. Knees out nice and wide. Arms are reaching up all the way over top side of your head. Chin is in towards your chest. Sit on up. Touch those toes. Back and forth. You go. Smooth range of motion. Modifier right here. You can do the same move in a crunch formation where you're coming up over the top side like so. Smashing the ribs to the hips. Chin in towards your chest. Reaching on up over your shoulders. Keeping the soles of those feet stuck right together. Lumbar spine fully flat on the ground. Back and forth. You go. Smooth, controlled action. Excellent. Excellent work, everybody. Heels on in towards your hip and groin. Reaching and stretching up towards your toes. Opening up those hips. Squeezing and activating those abdominals as much as possible. For 2 and 1. High reaching crunch. Holy smokes, let's go. Targeting right here in the 4 upper abdominals, the rectus abdominis region, everybody. So take those legs up, perpendicular position, toes flex down towards your belly button. Reach up towards those toes, chin in towards your chest, slow controlled range of motion, bent knee position, bent elbow position. A-okay with me if you want to modify slightly, right? So the goal, once again, concentrate on the 4 upper abs. Your chin is to your chest. Your eyes are forward towards your quads. You aren't looking up towards the ceiling like this, saying, Chris, my neck hurts. My neck hurts too if I do that, right? Keep your chin into your chest. Look forward towards your quads. If that's too much, head can rest on the ground, and you're just going to reach up with the arms, gently pulling the shoulders off the ground, back and forth you go. So you're squeezing through the shoulder blades, trying to reach your fingertips up with a straight arm position and engaging those abs under a slight amount of tension right there as well. Low plank hip dips, flip over to a low plank position now. So the forearms are underneath the shoulders, and then you're going to have the elbows directly underneath the shoulders, tailbone tucked down and in, feet hip width apart. Now what I want you to do, clench just that low side oblique on that left side, turn just the hip, not your sternum or your eyes. Back on into center, turn just that right hip, slow and controlled, so you're not just going back and forth, going like this with the hips, right? You want to think gently turning on in, for lack of a better term. Think about somebody coming over and kicking you in the ribs on the side, right? Or somebody coming over punching you or throwing a ball at you inside the ribs right here. So you're just gently turning the rib towards the hip. That is going to help activate this hard-to-reach abdominal muscle region called the transverse abdominis right about there. So it's that inside, right in those internal obliques, those hard-to-reach ones that we want to get stronger to help stabilize our core as much as possible. For 2 and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Hollow hold crisscross. So now we're going to take it back over to a flipped over position. We're facing up in the supine position towards the ceiling right here. Slight bent knee position. Hands are going to be on the ground. Chin in towards your chest. Crisscross. Left over right. Right over left you go. Toes flex back toward your face the whole way through. Abs tight as possible. Lumbar spine fully flat on the ground. If it feels like it's disengaging from the ground, you can slide those knees a little bit further towards the hips, but still have some space between the hip and the knee to activate those abs. If the knee comes too far back, you're not going to be activating those abs going like this, right? Chin or head rested on the ground, chin pointed up towards the ceiling on the modifier as well. Once again, though, compress the lumbar spine on the ground and have the knees a little further out in front of the hips to increase the tension in those abs. You're just crisscrossing right over left, left over right. For 2 and 1. Bent knee rocker. Time to go home, everybody. Six Pack City. Let's go. So now, arms reaching out behind you, knees a little bit out in front of you. You're just going to go back and forth. Gently rock back and in. Abs on in nice and tight. If that's too much, go ahead and hold that static bent hold position, right? So the hands are slightly behind. Chin is towards your chest. Knees just a smidge in front of that hip line. But if you can, muster up that energy and get it done here in the last 30 seconds with our rocker position. Back and forth you go. Smooth and controlled. Excellent, excellent work, everybody. Keeping those abs as tight as possible. Working it here today. Come on, 15 on it. Back and in. Reach and stretch right out behind you. Keep that belly button punching down towards that tailbone. Rocking, rolling. Six Pack City, baby. 3, 4, 2, and 1. Absolutely, absolutely amazing work, everybody. Stand tall, stand proud, and flex them. You certainly got them. That's right, Karen. We know you missed it. We missed you too, Karen. Thank you for joining us live from Ireland as well. Absolutely awesome work. And Kirchy's rocking on out. She missed that last rest break. There you go, Kirchy. You just keep on rocking on out. You didn't need that rest anyway. You got to keep that sweat going out there. Amazing job, everybody. So take it on through. Feet out nice and wide. Turn those palms facing on up. Open up your ribs as far as you can. Pull your thumbs out behind you as far as possible. And then take it down on the ground with those fingertips. Weights to those heels. Eyes to the back of the room. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly rise on up. Absolutely fantastic work. Left hand up over that right elbow. Reach around your neck as far as you can. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Switch it up. Right hand up over that left elbow. Reach around your neck as far as you can. So we'll be back live on Thursday. Beginner level class coming your way. It'll be a total body action. Midday, 12 p.m. And I believe it's a double header there on Thursday as well. I think with the 1 o'clock or up until the 1 o'clock hour, we have a lot of fun coming your way here the rest of this week. Let me just verify that schedule for us for the live. Yes, double header action. So it's going to be strength total body beginner level for a 30-minute class there at noon on Thursday, East Coast time. And then a button legs beginner level class for 15 minutes on Thursday as well following that one. So at 12:45 p.m. East Coast time. So a little lunch day East Coast burner or a little Pacific time morning workout for you as well. And then on Friday, we'll be coming back in for advanced cardio boot camp. Hopefully the weather is getting a little cooler at that point. 9:15 a.m. It'll be 30-minute burner on that one, followed by a 10 a.m. stretch and mobility class. It'll be absolutely awesome rest of your week, my friends. Saturday, there is a strong Saturday technically on the calendar right now. I'm still waiting to figure out some things here on my family end with some lacrosse tournament schedules. This is the last weekend of lacrosse tournaments for the kiddos, and both kids are going to be out in Jersey. Of course, they're not in the same spot, as all you parents can commiserate. They're about 30 minutes away, and the game schedules flip-flopping back and forth. But odds are I don't think Strong Saturday will work out, but if it does, it's still on the calendar. I'll be sure to update the calendar as well as the community platform to let everyone know. Thank you, everybody. See you next time on Chris Ryan Fitness.